Hi, this is Mr. Payton. Welcome back to another episode of Financial Literacy. So now you've made some money, you figured out how to spend it, you might even be saving a little bit. This is where it should be fun, but for a lot of people, this is just where the problems start. For many of us, having money is a very stressful thing. It shouldn't be though. If you can go back to our earlier lessons and make sure you understand why you have money in the first place, it shouldn't be nearly as stressful. However, if that's where you're at and you're still trying to figure out what to do with money, let's consider a couple of questions. First question, obviously, is are you able to pay for everything that you need? Not everything that you want, everything that you need. I had a friend of mine who was doing pretty well, making really good money, and she kind of came to me. She knew I was doing okay, I guess. I'm an educator, but she noticed how I was living, and she started to ask some questions. And I said, well, if we start this process, it's going to be painful because some of the things I'm going to ask you to do or ask you about might offend you, and so some of those questions were, how often do you have to get your hair done? How often do you need to get your nails done? Do you have to eat out? All these kinds of questions. For some people, that's offensive. It's like, man, why are you asking me all those questions? Well, if the point is to have money and have everything taken care of, then you have to analyze where that money is going. Okay, that's just a fact. There's no getting around that. And so you're going to have to ask some uncomfortable questions. And so I started asking things like, is there any part of your hair regimen that you can do on your own? And the answer was, yeah, but I just don't want that. So, well, it's going to come down to, would you rather sit in a chair, have someone do your hair, and spend $200 or $300 every other month? And that's cheap. That's on the cheap end, I've come to find out. Or would you rather have $200 or $300 extra dollars every 2 or 3 months? Ladies and gentlemen, that works out to be anywhere from $1,000 to almost $2,000. So the question is your hair worth $2,000? For some people, the answer is absolutely and then some. And that's fine. Then don't expect to move into a new neighborhood, don't expect to get a new car, and don't expect to have anything in the savings account. Those are just facts. That's just how it goes. So, and for other people, it's shoes. You got to have the latest shoes, or you got to have the newest phone. And so those are personal questions that everybody needs to answer. But let's get to the other side of things. So if that stresses you out, then how in the world would having money left over be exciting? Well, it just depends on what you want to do. For some of us, working for a company or working for a boss is not our thing. So you can take that money and start investing in yourself. We don't talk about this enough. Investing in yourself can mean a number of things. It can mean you taking a class that ultimately allows you to go off on your own. It could be you creating a product, whether it's a food that you can cook, or maybe you know how to do hair, or maybe you know how to do nails. And investing in buying the right equipment, the good equipment, not the cheap, equipment you get from the back of somebody's trunk, man. The good stuff. The stuff that has a warranty, so that if it messes up, you can go get another one. So investing in yourself is an option. So once you save some money, invest in yourself. Take a class, buy that equipment, and then start that business. So that's one thing to do. For some of us, that's not our bag. We're just going to save it. We're going to put it in the bank, and we're going to let it sit there. But keep this in mind, and I learned this from some of the readings that I've done. When you save your money, you're putting your money at rest. It's safe, but it's not going to grow. And anybody who has a bank account now knows what I'm talking about. You can have thousands of dollars in the bank, and the interest that you get back after a month is like 2 or 3 cents. You might as well keep the money at the house. So the next one, and this is a scary one for a lot of us, is to invest. But let's stop and think about what investing means. It means to give your money an opportunity to grow. It means to give your money an opportunity to make more money. Again, you can invest in yourself. You can invest in a company. A lot of us are uncomfortable with investing in the stock market. Then you can find some products that you feel are safe. For many of us, that's an 401k. For others who have ventured outside of that, it's an IRA. And like I said, there are people who just straight up like to deal with the stock market. The point is that it is your decision. What do you want to do? Do you want to keep spending your money? Do you want to save your money and put it at rest? Do you want to invest your money and put it into action? Those are all your decisions. But this is where it should be fun. You can put money away for your kids. You can do an improvement on the house. But you have to get to that point. And so hopefully, if you've been following along in these episodes, you've gotten to a point now where you're saying, okay, I got a little money. It may only be 50 bucks. It may only be 100 bucks. Save it, invest it. Over time, time flies, everyone. I know you hear your parents say that. I'm 47 years old, and it feels like yesterday I was in high school. It doesn't look like it because I got the gray and all that. But I'm telling you right now, it really does go by fast. And when you consider, let's just do a little quick math. We are in financial literacy. Let's say you saved 50 bucks every month. Okay? So 50 bucks every month. After a year, that's $600. Doesn't sound like much. But if you work for 20 years, and I've already got 20 plus, and like I said, I'm 47, that sounds old, but it's really not as old as you think. If you do the math on that, man, you got a decent little bit amount of money put away. Now, if all you do is save it, that's the number you'll probably have. If you take the risk and possibly invest it, whether that's in a piece of real estate, or again, we talk about companies and stocks and things like that, then you potentially can grow more. However, I must say this. First and foremost, I'm not a financial advisor or anything like that. I'm just a guy who has found some success in life and trying to share what I know. If you decide to invest, there is a risk. And so one of the things you have to figure out is, what is my risk tolerance? In other words, how much money am I willing to lose? Most of us are like, none of it. That's not what I really mean. Right now, for example, the stock market is down. So if I go look at all of my investments, they're all lower than they were a year ago. But I'm not worried about it because none of that money is money that I need. So here's the last thing I'll say to you about your extra money, if you have some. You have to decide that that money that you're going to save or invest is money that you don't need. So before you even get to the point where you try to save or invest, you got to make sure you have a certain amount of money that will make you comfortable. For me, that was always 3 months at first. Then it grew to 6 months. And what I mean by 3 months or 6 months is, if you look at your budget for the month and how much everything costs, do you have 3 months of cushion for that? That sounds like a lot of money, but that's the only way you're going to feel comfortable. So for me, it was 3 months. Then I got a little better. It became 6 months. I'm now to the point where I have a couple of years. And that to me doesn't mean that I'm, the richest person in the world or wealthy, anything like that. But it certainly makes me feel secure. It makes me feel safe about my financial situation. And so as you continue on this journey in your financial life, you just have to think about those things. Are you trying to impress people? Are you trying to be safe? Are you trying to be secure? Are you trying to live the most wonderful life you possibly can? Then there's going to be some risk. And you just have to decide what that risk level is for you. And you're going to have to negotiate that. If you have a significant other, you got to work that out with them. Or if it's just a family decision, got to have these conversations. Ladies and gentlemen, living well is not easy, but it is absolutely worth it. This has been another episode of Financial Literacy. I hope you got some value out of it, and I thank you for your time and your attention. Have a great day.